Howdy, folks. Wanted to shoot a quick little shop tour and talk a little bit about some of the projects I've got coming up that hopefully I'll be cutting some videos on and sharing with you folks. So yeah, right here we're looking at a RF30 round column mill. I picked this up a while back from the awesome aerospace engineer slash amateur jet engine builder who lived next door to me in Pacifica. Also picked up the lathe you can see in the background from him. I've got a few interesting projects coming up with this one. Some of the easy stuff. So this thing is powered by a smoothie board. Same thing that you would use in a 3D printer. Having it sitting there on the bench next to it isn't exactly optimal. So one of the things I want to do here is I printed up a little case for it, and I want to get that mounted up back there and get the wiring run a little bit cleaner, things like that. The wiring up here is for the tachometer, which isn't actually connected to anything just yet. I need to mount a Hall effect sensor, which is actually sitting right down here. It's this guy right here is a Hall effect sensor. And it's going to wind up living up in here and picking up off of that little magnet right there on the top of the spindle. So we'll see how that winds up working. Let's see. You can see up here a set of soft jaws I printed up. This was a older project. These just slide over so that you don't mar up whatever you're clamping. But I've got them off right now so that I could do some auto centering, playing around with some routines there. Let's see. Other interesting things about the machine. You can see that it's got little tiny steppers. These are NEMA 17s, the same thing that people tend to use on 3D printers. And this is partially because they're cheap and partially because I want the machine to be underpowered. Right now, while I'm still learning what I'm doing, I want the steppers to stall out as opposed to breaking cutters and other kind of horrible things that can happen. So let's see. The other big project on this machine is actually down at the bottom. You can see it's not sitting on the ground. It's sitting on a piano board because I don't want the machine to be absolutely stuck in one place. Sometimes I need to be able to get behind it. You can actually swing the head around. It's one of the nice things about a round column machine is you can swing the head all the way around and work on very large work pieces that you can stand up behind the machine, but that you can't necessarily get to up on the table here. And because it is a drill press as well as a mill, sometimes it's nice to be able to do that. So one of the things I want to build is a adjustable base for it so that it's sitting on a set of 4x4s most of the time, and when I need to move it, I can crank the wheels out and then move it around and then set it back down on the solid base. Right now, it's a little too happy to move back and forth, in my opinion. And I don't really want 600 pounds worth of machine falling over. So that's that guy. We'll, get more into him in the future. This right here was a attempt at printing up a replacement pulley. The pulleys on here, these guys are they're not well fit because they're 100-tooth pulleys, and the GT2 belt profile doesn't actually scale up to 100 teeth very well at all. So I've been trying printing up a few, seeing how they work. This one wound up being very, very wobbly. You can see as it turns, it doesn't run true at all. So this is because my the console printer doesn't print really precisely, and I could go through trying to true that up, but it's a giant pain in the ass, really, to be honest. And I've recently picked up a Epax X1, which is a little resin printer, and made another gear for here. This one, or another pulley, sorry. This one does run true. However, it was a failed print. Wound up jacking up that whole thing. So, we'll probably try that again and see if we can get that to work. Because again, we're using really low-powered steppers, and if this winds up working, this is I think this one's a 80 tooth or something like that, which is about the top end of what the GT2 profile can handle. So yeah, we'll try doing this a few more times, see how those come out. see if we can get the machine to be a little bit happier there. Let's see, moving on. So yeah, the lathe here, I ripped all of the old 220 guts out of and replaced with another smoothie board here. We've got a little controller for the spindle up here. Then down there, that's a relayed power strip there. And then the Raspberry Pi that runs Octoprint, and then a little amplifier because this thing's actually got speakers in it. And so who doesn't want to play music on their lathe, because that's totally a thing. Then tucked back in there, you can see that is the speed controller for a treadmill. And if you look up top, this thing didn't have a motor when I got it, so I wound up sticking in a treadmill motor back there to run it. And I wound up picking up a aftermarket chuck because this thing didn't come with a chuck either. So I've printed up a few doodads here just to be able to use a live spindle, and that lead cover is also printed up and sanded down smooth. I was playing around with textures on that. It was kind of fun. Let's see. Yeah, my little tool holder back there, that's all printed up. The little handle here, that's another design and print. So quite a few things, and even the doors on this are all designed and printed up. So it was kind of fun putting these together, figuring out how to print things so that they would go in one go without support, and then embossing the logos and things in them was just something to do for fun. So yeah, so that's that guy. Eventually, I want to set this one up completely for metalwork. So the live spindle is going to come off. It's going to get a real tool post. The treadmill motor is going to come off. It's going to get a real 3-phase motor that was supposed to go on the machine. And it'll also have to be locked down. I don't have the Gibbs in here. You can kind of see this thing rocks quite a bit. I don't have the Gibbs tightened up in the back. So that'll all need to be tightened up so it actually runs precise for metal, and that'll be a good, happy thing. And then next to it, where we've got some open space right now, some random stuff sitting around, is where this guy is going to live. So this one is a new one that I picked up a couple of months ago. I've got another video that talks about derusting it. I'll put a link up so you can see that guy. Once it gets cleaned up and is no longer got the patina to it, this one I'll wind up building a wooden case for the bottom of it, which is generally frowned upon in machine world, but because it's going to be used, again, it's going to be used on wood, the ultimate precision doesn't matter. So not building it on a steel base won't matter as much. And then this one will get set up with the treadmill motor. You see this one does have the proper 3-phase, so that's the motor that'll wind up transitioning over to the other one. And we'll be feeding it with a 510. This is a 120 single phase in, 220 3-phase out. Variable frequency drive. So it's a cool little box. I'll probably wind up doing another couple of videos about that. I've been working on a NEMA application to talk to this thing, which is kind of fun. So that's another project for another day. But yeah, so this one will be set up with the live spindle. This one came with a nice little set of tool posts and things. So I'll probably wind up setting that Multifix tool post on the metal lathe, and then for the wood one, like I said, we'll have the live spindle, and then when I want to do bigger tooling, I'll probably wind up setting up that guy on it, along with that way I can use various larger clamp-in knives like you need to do for wood, whereas on the metal machine the tooling will be smaller and under, just like a different set of forces. I won't say less forces, but I'll say, less chunky forces. So we'll figure that out as we go. So yeah, that's the next couple of projects we've got coming up. And so hopefully we will see you in future videos, and you know the whole game. If you want to see more of what you're seeing here, please like, please subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks.